Welcome to Hammersmith Station and to Hammersmith Station. So behind me is Hammersmith Station on the Piccadilly and District lines, and I'm going to walk from there to Hammersmith Station on the Hammersmith and City and Circle lines, and it's just over there. There are two separate London Underground stations called Hammersmith because they serve different lines and were originally built by different railway companies. Hammersmith District and Piccadilly lines opened in 1974 with the District line and expanded for the Piccadilly line in 1906. It is located on the north side of Hammersmith Broadway. Hammersmith Circle and Hammersmith and City lines was opened in 1864 by the Hammersmith and City Railway, which later became part of the Metropolitan Railway. It sits just across Hammersmith Broadway to the south. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, different private railway companies were competing and building their own lines, often without coordination. When the Underground was gradually unified under London Transport, the two distinct stations were kept as they were, close together but on different lines. Today they are treated as an out-of-station interchange. Passengers can walk between them across Hammersmith Broadway, and it counts as a single journey when using Oyster or contactless. So we're crossing the first part that we need to outside the Hammersmith Station on the Piccadilly and District lines, and I've got the green man to cross over to Hammersmith Station on the Hammersmith and City and Circle lines. Now this is a station that I'm not overly familiar with. I've been here a few times, but I think it does have some decorative features both inside and out. And it looks as though it's quite busy. In fact, a bell is ringing. I'm not sure if it's inside the station. There have been some severe delays, so I'm not sure if there's going to be a problem here. But it took me about 1 minute to walk from one station to the other. Well, there's a bit of a crowd gathering there. I think there are some delays, so that's giving you a clue as to what I'm going to do. It only took me 1 minute to walk from Hammersmith to Hammersmith. But how long will it take me to take the tube from Hammersmith to Hammersmith? Well, the best thing to do when there are delays is to stop off and have a coffee and something to eat.
Don't have a checkered past? Subscribe to Paul and Marcus on YouTube.
Right, we are back. There was a casualty on the track, and that is what was causing the delays earlier. There are still some delays, but there is a train in 6 minutes. So let's go through the gates. Oh, one's just left. Not in service, that one. Right, well, before we start our journey, let's take a little look around the station. I really like these posters. There's someone driving a Circle, District or Hammersmith and City line train. Train operators signing onto their shift. And the control centre at Earl's Court. Wow. You can see the number of lines and stations that they have to look after, and of course the sheer number of trains as well. Right, so we are on platform 3. I think this is a Circle line train, it says, via Paddington. So we're going to take this as far as Edgware Road, and this is a station that I know quite well because when I go to work each day I transfer there. But I don't think I've taken this particular train from Hammersmith to Edgware Road before, or if I have, it's been a long time ago. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I reckon 15 to 20 minutes.
customers at Hammersmith, we do not have a westbound service currently, and we do advise customers to exit the station and use buses, local buses.
And we are off.
The next station is Edgware Road. Change for Circle and District Line services via High Street, Kensington.
Find the gap between the train and the platform.
Okay, so here we are at Edgware Road. It took 15 minutes or thereabouts. So we've just got off a Circle Line train, which is now via King's Cross, St Pancras. Whereas on this side we've got a Circle Line train via Victoria. I'm not going to go into it this time, but the Circle Line is not a complete circle anymore. It can be a little bit confusing for people. But it is this platform here where we will be getting our next train, which is going to be a District Line train to Wimbledon, and we'll be taking that to Earl's Court. But for now, we will let both these trains leave. Well, as I said, Edgware Road is a station I know very well because I change here twice a day on my way to work and my way back home from work. And I'm normally waiting on this platform for a Wimbledon train, which will take me to High Street, Kensington, where I normally get off. So the sign says that there is a train due to come in any moment now, and it will be the Wimbledon train, and when it goes out again, it will take me to Earl's Court.
Find the gap between the train and the platform.
This is Edgware Road, where this train terminates. Please take your belongings with you when you leave the train. All change.
Well, I've just seen the driver walk past. He's brought this train in, he walks to the other end, and he'll take it out again. So this is probably a good point to put up the map where I'll show you the complete journey from Hammersmith on the Hammersmith City Line, Circle Line, to Hammersmith on the Piccadilly and District lines. So we started off at Hammersmith on the Hammersmith City and Circle lines, and we have taken it so far to here at Edgware Road. We're now taking the District line, which is a Wimbledon train, as far as Earl's Court, and from there I can either take a District line to Hammersmith or the Piccadilly line. Now, if I was to take the Piccadilly line, I'd have to walk down some steps and an escalator and wait for the Piccadilly line train down there, or I can simply just wait on the platform and get off at Earl's Court. I think you know which one I am going to do. And we're off.
The next station is Earl's Court. Change for the Piccadilly Line and District Line services to other destinations.
Okay, here we are now at Earl's Court. So far the journey has taken just over half an hour. So what we need is either a Richmond train or an Ealing Broadway train. So on this platform over here it says 7 minutes for Richmond, and on this side 4 minutes for Richmond. So hopefully we'll get the one at this side first of all. Now I'm going to walk right down to the other end of the platform, simply because when we get to Hammersmith, that is where the exit will be, and I am going to get out of the station again.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Due to a reported emergency, would all passengers leave the station immediately? Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Due to a reported emergency, would all passengers leave the station immediately? Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Due to a reported emergency, would all passengers leave the station immediately?
Information, this was a test. I repeat, it was a test only of the station farm equipment. The test is now complete, thank you.
Yes, it was all just a test. And here is our very busy train. We'll be taking this to Hammersmith.
The next station is Hammersmith. Change for the Hammersmith City and Piccadilly line. Exit for bus services to Olympia, London.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
And there we have it. So it took me 45 minutes to travel from Hammersmith to Hammersmith. But of course I could have walked it in 1 minute. Well, I've been planning this episode for some time, but there always seemed to be a problem on one of the lines, as indeed there was today. And that wasn't actually the case when I left home, so I thought, let's just see what happens. And to be quite honest, I think it was a bit pointless. But I just wanted to see how long it would actually take to travel from over there to over here by train, and it was indeed 45 minutes. Well, I hope you find it interesting nonetheless. And if you'd like to become a channel member, you can pay just £1.99 a month, and that will give you access to the following week's episodes in advance. You'll get them all in one big drop on the Monday before. That's either 3 episodes, sometimes 4 if you're lucky. And also, if you're feeling extra generous, you might want to give us a super thanks, and we'd be very grateful for that. Well, from a very wet, dreary, dull Hammersmith today, it's goodbye. See you next time.